Hello people, welcome back to the channel. We've got another crazy one for you, and this one is just something else. It's on a channel called Charles Family Aspect, and basically this is a man who's caught his wife cheating, and I think if I remember right, this is an old video, but if I remember right, he caught her cheating and then she went and cheated again because he caught her cheating, basically. So this is him confronting her and trying to, this is a good man who has got a vision of this woman, and he's thought that this woman was this perfect woman in his head, and he's held onto this vision hoping that this woman really exists. But this is sadly the illusion that a lot of men fall into, that these women are actually, it's actually a demonic, evil, little selfish creature that he's sitting speaking to, who has pretended to him that she is a certain way, and lied and lied and lied to him, and literally built a life upon lies. So the full foundation and everything that's been built is all upon lies. And what you're seeing also is, some would say it's not evil, but I believe it is evil when a woman can do that for however many months and years and lie about it and cover it up. I think that's selfish and evil. So what you're seeing here is a woman in her true primal nature being exposed and not being able to explain it, because she is a woman who is programmed to constantly, if she feels like she can get a better man, or there's a better option, or she wants some fun, you best bet if she gets that hypergamous feeling that they cannot switch it off, and she will go full steam ahead with risking it all while trying to cover it up to get whatever thrill she wants or whatever she feels she deserves. And basically, to keep it simple, this is logic versus emotion. And just watch this video. It's 15 minutes long, but just watch it. It's so interesting just to see logic versus emotion, and how the women just can't explain it, because it's impulse that these women run on, not loyalty or any kind of sense. It's just impulsive emotions, and that's why you can't trust a lot of women, because that's how they operate, and they're selfish. So if you mix them two together, yeah, not a very trustworthy sort of a creature, is it really? So let's watch the video, and honestly, it's just something else. I think it's an old video. I mean, this was uploaded 4 years ago, but I'm sure it must be about 10, maybe 15 years old. Who knows? But let's watch.
Well, why does he think he's with you?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure he's confused. Are you videotaping me?
Thinking about it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not changing my story about that.
Okay. What I want to know is...
And before we get into it, my opinion is that this guy, like I said, has got this vision of her. He should have ended it as soon as he found out that she was cheating, and all she's going to do is lie and try and admit what she thinks she can get away with, or what she thinks that he might or might not find out. So she's going to admit to what she knows he knows, but she's going to lie about everything else that she thinks that he can't prove. So it's just a damage limitation to try and manipulate him into believing that it's not as bad as he thinks it is, and that he should take her back, because I believe, in my opinion, she's just using this guy for his money and a certain type of lifestyle, which is common.
When did you become the type of person that would do that?
I answered you.
You became, when you're saying when you fell in love with me, that's when you decided to be the type of person that would lie to me.
It wasn't conscious. It was a...
Yeah, but let's be very clear. You lied to me, utilizing your daughter as an excuse.
I have already admitted to all of that.
Repeatedly. Well, I just want to...
I know, and I've admitted to it, and you keep saying it.
And then when you got caught lying, using your daughter as an excuse over and over again, you got caught.
Yes.
You then decided to go fuck somebody else to pay me back for catching you in a lie.
I don't think that I could go into the whole... No.
Well, I caught you lying. You got mad.
I did.
Okay, and then and when you got mad, you went and fucked somebody else.
I was mad at me.
Okay, but you went and fucked somebody else.
I did.
Because you got caught lying.
Yes.
And now this person is
Because I
now.
was mad at me.
Now this person is now texting you saying that he was with you actually all night.
He was not.
Okay, but so he's lying.
He is lying.
Okay.
He is lying. That's a big fat fucking lie.
He said last Friday night. What does Katy Perry voice mean?
I have no idea. I don't know what he's talking about.
So he's lying.
I think he was with somebody else before he got to me. That's what I think.
Okay. Well, he thinks he had sex with you all night.
He didn't.
Did you blow him near the couch?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he talked
Right when he walked in the door.
Okay, so wait, right when you walked in, you went out sucking his dick.
Yes.
Okay. Well, he.
So, see, she'll admit to that because a lot of women think that blowing a guy is not the same as having sex, and a lot of women actually don't class that as cheating. This is how they work. And basically, a woman will say, oh, my body count is 10 or whatever, and they're lying, it's probably 20, 30, 40, 50, 1,000, who knows. They are not including the amount of guys that they've blew as well. So if a woman says 10, right, her body count is 10, and she's slept with maybe 20 or 30 guys, you've got to add in all the other guys that she's blew as well. You have to remember that.
He references that. So he knows it's you.
Yeah, okay.
He's talking about being with you all night.
He wasn't.
Okay.
We didn't leave the restaurant until 10:30. You just...
And this is where this guy's going wrong. So he's literally trying to sit and get truth out of a liar. You'll never get that. Once you know somebody lies and they've cheated, leave. That's it.
heard that.
Okay.
There was nothing to preface
but
that.
she didn't say that you weren't with him as well.
Call her back. She probably won't take the call since you hung up on her, but go ahead and call her back.
Okay, now, do you feel bad at all that you did what you did?
Oh my God.
What,
Fuck yes, I do.
What do you feel bad about?
She feels bad that she got caught. That's it.
I feel bad that, well, for 100 different things I feel bad. Starting backwards, or starting at the end and working backwards, I felt absolutely terrible that I cheated on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you feel bad that you lied to me?
Well, I was getting there. I told you I was
Translation, she feels terrible that she got caught.
working from the end and going backwards.
Okay.
The worst thing that I've ever done is hurt you.
Okay, so when you got, so tell me more about the logic of you fucking getting caught lying, and then you go suck some other guy's dick because I caught you lying. How does that work?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. She just doesn't know, because women act on impulse and there's no explanation for it. It's just emotion and random feelings, and there is no logic. It's just selfishness, lust, desire, greed, whatever. It's all self-serving things, so there's no logic. They throw anything to the side to get what they want. That's women.
I was an absolute whore and deserved to be treated like one. It was
Oh, so she was already a whore for cheating, so she deserved to go and get treated like a whore again. So he caught her cheating. That's what it doesn't exactly tell you that, but I'm sure at the top of my mind that was because I've seen this video before. This was the only one I could find, and so she got caught cheating, and her solution was, I'm going to punish myself by cheating on my husband or my boyfriend again. This is how crazy women are, and this is how insane their logic they're justifying it as. It's all emotion. There's no logic. It's just random impulsive emotions, and then they just try and make up excuses to cover it up. It's just complete insanity and selfishness.
mutilation. I don't know how to behave like this.
So you're saying that you wanted to self-mutilate? So if you wanted to self-mutilate, but wouldn't self-mutilate actually be like you cut yourself or you do damage yourself? You went and sucked dick. You just went and did something pleasurable.
All I did was...
He says he fucked you for 6 hours.
He didn't.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Okay, well, but you don't remember anything.
I know what time I got home.
Did you have safe sex?
Yes.
Oh, you did? He doesn't think you did.
I don't care.
Okay, so he's wrong about that.
You notice how she kind of cringed there and closed her eyes when she said yes. lying.
So, but go back. So you got caught lying. You got mad at me. You blocked me from GPS. You blocked me from talking to you, which is punishment for me catching you in a lie, right? I get it.
Blown at my phone. And
Okay.
I was still sitting at dinner.
Okay. So
That's when the GPS went off.
okay. So that was
Didn't have anything to do with Reggie.
okay. But so what you're saying is when that happened, then your reaction to that is to go suck dick and fuck some guy for whoever how long because I caught you in a lie, and you're calling that self-mutilation?
I am, because all it did was further destroy my
But it was,
psyche.
but what you did was you went and did something pleasurable.
So what we're seeing here is just a woman in her hypergamy thinking she can do better, while she thinks she can keep the simp beta guy provider on the side, and she's not really got it in her. That's how selfish she is, that she'll cheat on him and basically thinks she can have the full cake and eat it. And there's a lot of women like that. They want to keep the simp and cheat on the side. This is common.
Right? So self-mutilation would actually be cutting yourself.
No, you can do it psychologically.
Okay. So really, how do you determine that?
What do you mean?
Well, how do you know that? Are you a psychiatrist, psychologist? Where do you get that expertise to know that?
Well, because I know what it made me feel like, and I know what my motivation was going into it.
What was your motivation going into it?
I feel like crap. I might as well act like the whore that everybody thinks I am. That's exactly what that was. It wasn't here to go fuck Steve. That wasn't what that was.
So when you feel like crap, you go fuck somebody.
It is not a practice.
Have you done it before?
No.
Okay, so it's the first time ever.
Yes.
So for the first time ever in your whole life, you get caught lying, which included using your kid as a weapon over and over and over again, right? And then you use your feelings and emotions for me against me in that, trying to convince me that you aren't lying when you are lying, and by saying, oh, I love you, but you're lying the whole time. And then when you get caught, what you do is you ask a guy to come over and fuck you. And then then you decide to follow up with lying about that.
Yes.
And you lied over. I mean, how many would you say you lied, like 50, 100 times? And so this other guy on here that's saying that you had times to me. You don't have any remember of that, so no memory there.
Nope. Didn't happen.
Okay.
So this is a prime example of how internet, social media, Instagram, easy access to each other has realistically ruined traditional marriage and lifestyle or relationships, and it's put women in a full state of full-blown hypergamy because they can literally sit and get access to men all day and attention, and women love that. That is their currency. So it's hard for a woman to realistically not take any of that at all. They lap it up, a lot of them. So he goes on to explain that he caught her sexting to all different kind of guys, and who knows how many, really. It's insane.
Can I ask when?
I did.
And?
I get an answer. So when did you start? You're telling me that you were an honest person your whole life up to this point. Okay.
Can I ask when?
I did.
And?
I get an answer. So when did you start? You're telling me that you were an honest person your whole life up to this point. I mean, I would say in the last week you probably, and granted some of them are repetition, but the same topic, you probably lied to me 150, 200 times. Would you say that's fair?
I don't know. I guess. I've been keeping track. Sure you have.
Oh, you sure I have? Is that a shot at me?
Did you hear that little dig there when he was pulling her up about how... Do you see a woman just can't take accountability? She had to automatically have a little dig at him. But she's been lying to him compulsively, and she still thinks she's got the right to have a dig at him. This is what we're dealing with, man. This is the true nature of most women, not the image that they portray to you. Oh, I'm a sweet little lady, and and they live two lives. There is two sides to it, at least in my opinion, two personalities in each woman, at least at a minimum. Some of them have got multiple personalities, and that's my opinion. You will not change that, because this is the real. This is the real them. This is them, no act, no show, no kidding on, no manipulation. This is them in their true nature, just complete feral little demons, okay? That's fine if you want to be that way, but don't get married, okay? But they'll portray themselves as this nice, lovely, wifey material lady that's just so perfect, because they're fake. This is the real... Most women, this is them in their true nature. You're seeing a woman getting caught for being a hypergamous little whore.
Oh, then why would you say? Well, you really think I'm keeping a tally of how many times you lie to me? Do you think I'm keeping a record sheet? Is that what you're saying?
I think that you're literally keeping a record sheet, but I think that every time it happens, it sticks in your head.
Mm-hmm. So why should I think you're going to be honest moving forward?
You shouldn't.
So she's basically telling him, I'm just going to keep lying. I'm a lying whore. Just, you know, that's it. You know, like, I'm telling you. But this guy just cannot believe that the woman that he thought that she was has never existed. And I think he's in a kind of state of shock and disbelief, really.
Does your daughter know that you use her as a weapon?
Yes.
It's a legitimate question.
Yes.
It's a legitimate... You've done it more than once. Does she know? Does she know?
No! Stop asking me, please. Stop.
So you've been an honest person your whole life up until like the last 2 months. In the last 2 months, you've just turned into a pathological liar. And you're...
Since she got caught, whatever evidence that he's got on her, that's when she started being a little whore. See, this is how much they'll lie. This is limitation. And what they'll do is they'll basically admit to what they think he can prove. But that's them still trying to manipulate it to say that, well, you know 10% of it, but there's actually another 90% that you don't know. So maybe there's a chance that I can manipulate him and get back with him. But I think she's kind of realising herself that it's over, you know.
Locking all these guys on your phone, and these guys are all talking about sticking their balls in your mouth, and... You're having all these sexting conversations, or you're not having. They just think that you are.
I can't even explain Michael to you. I was going to introduce you to him very early on when we first started.
All right, I don't care. I don't care about that.
Stop it, because
I don't care to you.
Well, it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, to you, because you think that matters for me to hear. I don't hear, but you are in fact having people send you messages where they're talking about putting their balls in your mouth and coming all over your chest, and these are guys that you're fucking talking to on a regular basis, and you're dating me.
One guy.
Okay, well, there's a lot of guys out here that sit there talking to you.
So she says one guy, right? She's lying again.
No, they're not.
And there's one guy in here talking about fucking you. So you got a guy in here talking about shooting his load on your chest, but sticking his balls in your mouth. So that's one guy. Another guy...
Look, so she just lied, and then now she's conceding that she lied because she knows that he's got evidence. It's like they'll only admit what they think you can prove, and they'll never... So it's like they'll show you the tip of the iceberg on what you can prove, because you've got the iceberg as evidence, the tip, sorry, but the rest of the iceberg is all hidden if you can't prove it, and they'll never tell you. So really, when you catch a woman cheating or lying like this, it's always way worse than you even think it is. That's the reality.
He says he has plans with you, and then you got another guy who says he fucked you a week ago. I mean, and those are just the guys that answered.
He did fuck me a week ago.
Oh, I know. He did fuck you a week ago. And so you got this. So you got one guy talking about sticking his balls in your mouth and fucking shooting his cum all over your face. That's one guy, and then there's this other guy saying, well, we got to get together and keep our plans because you've had plans, you just haven't met. And then you got this other guy who did fuck you a week ago. I mean, so but yet you're dating me and you love me.
Yes.
and you're trying to persuade me that that's true. But yet, you know, you're fucking having all these fucking conversations or acts with other guys. That's who you are. That is who you are. Right? I mean...
See, so he's saying it, he's like, this is who you really are, not the fake little sweet wifey material that you've been kidding on that you are. This is really you, and this is the sad reality for most men, that they have to accept this when they find out their woman is just a filthy little whore. And that's why I always stress to men, do not take women too seriously. Don't just meet a woman and fall for her act, because most of the time if you meet a woman and it seems like it's just amazing, they are trying to put on a persona. This is their persona. That's not really who they truly are. That is the smoke and mirrors. That is the puppet show that they're putting on. You know, that's the little fake charade or charade, whatever. This is the real them. So you know the classic, you get in a relationship for the first week, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 2 months, it's great. But then it just turns to shit because the mask slips and then they reveal themselves for who they really are. That's the reality, and this is most women. This is who they really are, and this guy is accepting it at this point, I think.
Is this guy fucking messaging you, talking about shooting his load on your face? Yeah. Putting his balls in your mouth? Yeah. Does he know exactly what you want, you like? Yeah. He wants you, you say can be, who cares what it would mean? He happens to know you like your nipples being pinched. He knows that you like being spanked, right? He knows that you like fucking balls in your mouth. He knows all these things because you told him. And you're conversing with this guy, who knows how often. Per you have to block him because he blows up all the time, but you just happened to block him yesterday when you met me. But that's you. That's who you're dealing with. And then you have the audacity, when I openly tell you about friends that I have that are female, that I occasionally talk to. Some I won't even call friends, I don't like. Until I felt bad because they're in miserable shape. But I occasionally talk to them, and I'm totally honest with you about them, and I let you see every message. You bust my balls when you're doing this shit. And you bust my balls left and right about them when you're doing this shit. That's you. But you just became that person.
Never cared enough.
Well, you never cared enough before, so you did it and you just didn't care. Well,
this is the realization moment that it's kind of over, like, she knows that it's done, he knows that it's done, but realistically I think the guy maybe just was looking for some kind of closure, or maybe even hoping that he could work it out. But I think really once he started to get in his logical brain and he's seeing how she's reacting and the information is there, he's like, yeah, it's done. You know, if he took her back after this, he deserves every bit of pain that he gets, because it's just complete stupidness. Like I said, even if you find out for a fact that the person you're in a relationship with is cheating, don't even try and sort it out. Just leave.
Wait, well, caring and not caring, two different things. I mean, you could have been married, which you were, and not cared. So that, in theory, what you're saying is that you would have done a lot more then, because you didn't care. You're saying with me you care, right? And if you care, then you would think this kind of conduct would be curtailed. So when you don't care, it's going to increase. Oh, so it didn't increase when you didn't care.
It didn't. And
wait, so
I
what? Okay. Well, I want to understand that. Okay,
well, I'm going to try to
okay, but I don't want to ramble. I just want a very direct answer. So you're telling me that when you don't care, you cheat less. So if you care less about a guy, like you contend that you didn't care about your husband too much, or it wasn't that much, you weren't that close, you've said that, right? Okay. So you had a limited relationship with him, didn't feel like about him the way you do about me, right? Okay. But you didn't cheat. So, but you have this elevated, I think you said first time you've ever loved anybody, but it's also the first time you've ever sucked cock and cheated and then lied and...
So do you see how the guy is completely exposing her? That she's been in a previous marriage and says that she's never cheated and that she didn't care about that guy, basically. But she's saying that he was the first person that she loved, and that, you know, if he's basically saying, well, if you love me, then what the hell's going on? You know, like, how are you cheating? You know, it's like, it makes no sense at all. It's because she's impulsive, and this is women in their true hypergamous, selfish, impulsive, emotional state. This is what they are at their core.
Emphatically about it, and utilize your daughter as a shield multiple times in doing so. So when you care about somebody, then you fuck them over. That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's what it is. The bottom line is she doesn't care about him. I think this guy's got money, and he might be a bit of a sort of a simp, or just a nice guy. Maybe not even a simp, he might just be a nice guy with money, and she's seen that she could take advantage of him. So like I said, this is them at their true core. But when they want something like money or resources or a relationship for whatever reason, they'll put on the act. But it's never truly them. This is truly them.
That's who you are. So
there's a motivation behind it, or not a motivation, but a.
So when you care about somebody, that's when you fuck them over.
What I'm telling you is that I've never cared about anybody before.
Okay, but you never cheated before either.
I don't know how to do this, and it scares the hell out of me.
Okay, but
and I think that this was. I'm going to finish my thought.
Well, but
I'm going to finish my thought.
Well, but okay. Oh, really?
Yeah,
are you?
Finish it.
Oh, really? So you're really upset, are you? You're traumatized by sucking cock.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. So when you
do you see how much shit? Like, it's just utter nonsense. She's no justification for it. It's just damage limitation and try and lie and manipulate as best as she can. It's not going too well, is it?
didn't care about somebody, you never cheated your whole life. Okay. So only time you cared, and you say, you told me I'm the only person you ever loved, that's when you cheated.
So do you see how she's lying? She doesn't love him. That's not love. When you love somebody, you wouldn't even contemplate cheating on them. So this is what I'm saying, it's all an act. Modern women, or most modern, you could say she's modern, but you know, she's modern-ish. She's definitely not of the sort of a 80-year-olds, the old school marriage, you know. She's sort of a modern-ish woman, you know. She's into the texting. This is the problem. The texting and the communication, women have got endless supply of attention of however many men around the world, all around their town, the city, and this is when the hypergamous nature kicks in, and it literally overtakes them, and they become possessed, and it's like it opens it up and puts it on steroids because of the amount of attention that they can get, and they just can't help themselves. How many cases have you heard where school teachers, women, are molesting young boys? It is so common because in these times there's no accountability for women, and they just think that they can have the full cake and eat it and do whatever they want with no repercussions, because women have been taught that they can just lie and avoid their way out of accountability. And that is an extreme example of it, because what would make so many women, and especially I've seen it in America, think they can basically molest young boys and have all kind of heinous acts with them and others, and think it's okay, and they because they think they can just manipulate their way out of it. You see, this is how much women have been given too much freedom and lack of accountability and lack of shame, and we need to bring it all back and rein them in, because this is getting wild.
Okay. What do you think your daughter would say if she knew how you used her? Oh, I think it's an honest question.
It's none of your business.
None of my business? Well, you lied to me using her. Why isn't it my business?
You keep bringing it up.
But why isn't that my business?
You're not going to be involved in her life.
Well,
let it go.
You introduced her via your lies multiple times.
You see how evil that is? She's just going straight to the jugular to protect herself. Look, you're not going to be in her life. It doesn't matter. I'm not 100% sure. I think she's maybe been, for what I can make out, she's maybe been the first time having an affair and getting her child to maybe lie for her. I'm not too sure. But you can see any times he brings her daughter up, it upsets her and she gets really She's not even entertaining talking about it.
By using her as an excuse. So
because I think that's the only real guilt that she feels. Maybe actually getting her daughter involved to lie for her, and her daughter knows that she's a lying whore, and that's probably the only real bit of guilt she's possibly able to feel, and that's why you're seeing she's reacting like that.
But now, so I'm asking you about it.
All you're doing right now is twisting the knife.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking you how she would feel.
You keep asking me, and you keep telling me what an awful person I am.
Answer the question.
What an awful mother I am. I understand how you feel.
No,
and you're probably not wrong.
You use your daughter for lies.
So I'm telling you.
I mean, you brought her in the equation, not me. Be upset with yourself.
I am upset with myself.
Okay, well, just answer the question. How do you think she would feel if she knew that you used her as a shield for your lies?
I'm sure she would not like it.
Do you think you're setting a good example for her?
Of course not.
And you deal with kids every fucking day.
No, I don't.
You tell me you do. Expulsion hearings, you tell me you do them all the time.
I do, but not every day.
Okay,
I'm not an educator. I'm an administrator. It doesn't matter.
But yet you have, but you don't have any moral character. How do you just get to stand and judge?
Look, see now that he's got her at the point where there's no lying and getting out of it, she's just turning into a bitch. I don't care. Yeah, can we let's just get this over with, you know? You're wasting my time here. And look, that's the reality, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. If you're sitting and you've got a girlfriend or a wife, is it really the person you think it is? Or is it just an image that she's tricked you into thinking that she is? I'm sure you've got your doubts, but she tricks you and gaslights you and manipulates you. Yeah? And then do you see how this guy's got a lot of evidence on her and she's still trying to like somehow lie to him even in parts? But for the most part there was nothing she could really lie about because she knew he had certain amount of evidence. But like I say, when you catch somebody cheating like that, I guarantee you're only finding out about 10% of it. You wouldn't even know the other 90, and you probably wouldn't want to know for your own sanity. And bottom line is, this is logic versus emotion, also translated into hypergamy, monkey branching. And once that's activated in a woman, it will not be switched off. It becomes their true, it is how they're primarily designed. They'll try and carry on and say, no, I'm not like that. But best bet, they all are. And like I said, with social media, it's literally impossible for them to ignore it. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Once a cum dumpster, always a cum dumpster. Yep. She's not sorry, zero remorse, actually annoyed by being confronted, and you're wasting her time. She's disgusting, disrespectful. Once she admitted to cheating, you should have left, dude. Way too much. Yep, holy shit, who cares to live this kind of life? Wow, yeah. So let's have a look at top comments. A friend of my wife let me know she was cheating. Yeah, so a guy saying that he caught his wife cheating, and then basically she wanted him back, but he met somebody else. This isn't the first time cheating, it's just her first time getting caught. She's not sorry. Yep, I agree. The only conversation he should be having with her is about divorce. That's it. I was mad at myself, so therefore I went out and cheated on you. This is women, psychopathic, insane emotions that just lead them astray, and this is why I keep stressing women need masculine frame to keep them in line. They need shame, they need accountability, they need to be told what's right and wrong, because if we're living in a society where women have got just as much rights as us, if not more, this is the result. They have no repercussions, they get away with it. It's insane. And I'm sure it's even common that women cheat on the man and then she still ends up getting half his assets. Like, how can you, women are the worst creatures ever, I think, that's ever existed on this planet for taking accountability. But we're going to set the system up so that they can just do whatever they want and get away with it. I think we all know women get away with a lot more than men. She only feels bad about getting caught. Yeah, so I'm going to end the video there. I thought that was interesting. It shows you a woman in her true hypergamous nature trying to justify it, but she can't because the guy's throwing logic, facts and evidence at her, and she's just a bitch. She's just a dirty whore, and sadly this is most women at their core. most modern women, they're all programmed. The apple does not fall far from the tree. They're all pretty much programmed. And I'll keep on saying it, men are in love and women are in business, because they'll only settle with a man if she feels like she can use them. That's my opinion, for resources, or if she wants kids. And that's why it's common that once a woman's been ran through, she's like, oh, I want to settle down, you know, it's time for me to change, I'm healing, I'm on my self-recovery journey, all this crap. But really they're just looking for a nice guy that they can manipulate, have kids, and extract the resources from them. And that's the bottom line. Most women fundamentally are very promiscuous, very sexualized, and very filthy. And that's the reality. So until the next time, take it easy and